Welcome to the talk show Promising Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement. Well, today we will discuss the issues related to the elections to the 12th Parliament, formations of the Cabinet, and coming sessions indeed. And to suit the very purposes, we have invited two guests. One is Professor Dr. Saber Chowdhury. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Fine. Well, other being Mr. Moniruzzaman Monir, Member, Central Subcommittee, Liberation War Affairs, Awami League. How are you, Mr. Monir?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, fine.
Okay. Well, Dr. Saber, you are our regular guest indeed. And we used to have so many things from you. And you know very well that election to the 12th Parliament already held. And already Council of Ministers has been formed. And Parliament sessions is going to be held on 30th of this month. Taking all this in together, how do you view this scenario?
Thank you. The scenario is little complicated for some reasons because this new panel of ministers, they take oath, and in the beginning they are facing few challenges. We believe that the thing is few of them are internal and some of them are international as well. So in the internal, we may say that there are some crisis in the economy. So the other is, if in the coming days there will be some sort of stability of this kind of things from the some political parties. And in the international scenario, we know about the some sort of views and prompt actions from some Western countries. So at this moment, this is the situation, and the present government already they are receiving some sort of congratulations from few countries. Some other countries, mostly the Western countries, they are criticizing the last parliament election on 7th January. So the government should come up with some reactive and proactive plans to face the challenges in the coming days.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saber Chowdhury. Well, Mr. Moniruzzaman Monir, being a leader of the ruling Awami League, you are very vocal in the world of social media and talk show world. What Professor Saber Chowdhury said, how do you analyze these things from your standpoint?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. Thanks to my another guest, teacher of Dhaka University. At first, I like to congratulate our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who has shown in the Prime Minister for the record 5th time. The cabinet, in my opinion, very wisely and judiciously. You see the cabinet minister like Saber Chowdhury, Dr. Shamantulal Sen, Asaduzzan Khan Kamal, they are tested. I think this time cabinet is more better than previous cabinet. Like 2009, 2014, 2018, I think this cabinet is more capable and they will run very well in future. My brother said some challenges or complicated situation, internal and international, but we know after election already even Australia, Germany, YC members and another Muslim country, Russia, India already congratulated our new government. So there was another challenge before election, that was some kind of anarchy, like In fact, we are calling them as a opposition on the street, BNP or another their partner. They tried to make unstable, so they failed, and election was, I think it was more better, and before 2014 and 2018.
Well, thank you very much for your analysis. Well, Mr. Saber Chowdhury, we know very well that there are some portfolios in the cabinet, like Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Planning, and Ministry of Trade and Commerce. You have seen who are the people that are there. What is your understanding about the persons working as ministers there?
Well, in those ministries, these are very important ministry, and to face the present situation, the challenges which I mentioned earlier, these ministries are very relevant. So, in one way, few of them don't have enough experiences is dealing with these ministries. But the thing, Honorable Prime Minister, when she selected these people, maybe there are some sort of strategies and visions which she understands very well. And the thing is, before commenting on these, we need to see what are their plans for the upcoming days. After that, it would be easier for us to comment on this. And at this point, we are just waiting for the, already the member of the parliament, they took oath, and we are hoping that maybe in the last of this month, they will start, the parliament will in function. So, what will be the discussion in the coming parliament and in this ministries, it is important. And another thing I would like to mention here, it is the month of January. And most of the government in our country, they don't have good reputation in expending the yearly budget. And the present government, very quickly, they need to work for preparing the next budget. So, ministries will be very busy soon in preparing the budgets and other things. So, it is another challenges, because we already know there are many projects, some of them are huge, which has to be completed within this June. So, this time, especially the finance ministry, the economic ministry and other ministries, they need to take some prompt measures, and the seasoned bureaucrats, they are with them. If they are not very prompt in dealing with this situation, maybe again we will gonna to hear that we are not capable in spending the budget of the last year. So, yeah, this is the situation.
You know very well that budget making is a part of the NBR, and mostly they prepare the budget and they get it done, and the finance minister just read it out in the house, then the member of parliament say yes or no. And do you think this type of budget making is very much favorable to the overall standing of the parliament?
NBR play usually a huge role, but the thing is, at first the finance ministry, they ask for the requirement of different ministries, they calculate the revenue collections, and they try to find out the deficit and see their expertise and experience in the last budgets as well. So, depending on these situations, they calculate the overall scenario and come up with the next budget. But the thing is, in the parliament, we need always a viable discussion, which is very important. And at present, the general people, we can't deny that they are facing price hike, especially those who are living with a fixed income. It is very difficult for them to going for there and to maintaining their livelihood. So in this way, it is also important that this budget should be more people friendly, and the government, and I think the government also understand very well. We are hoping that they will not impose more taxes and other things which are very important in the life of the general people as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saber. Mr. Monir, Dr. Saber says budget should be more friendly, and to suit these very purposes, more and more member of parliament should get involved in the budget making process, which is very much absent in Bangladesh context. What is your opinion?
I like to say something regarding budget. I am not expert at all. I am a political worker. So, being a political worker, I like to see the budget. It's friendly for the general people, mass people, those who are hard worker. So, I think budget should be like that for the poor people. Those who are in our country, those who are doing a struggle to survive their lives. So I think you should talk to others, those who are experts regarding budget. Our national economist or another teacher like Mr. Sabbir, they can deliver like this issue. But I think our leader Sheikh Hasina, when she has became first Prime Minister in 1996, after that we see she has under her leadership we achieved a lot of things. So Sheikh Hasina is a political phenomenon who has guided the rise of this nation of 170 million people, jute producer into the Asia Pacific state expanding economy over the past decade. In office since 2009, after an earlier term from 96 to 2001, she is the world's longest serving female head of government. She has established herself in the global stage and earned accolades from all over the world. From beginning one of the poorest countries, at its foundation, it attained lower middle income classification in 2015 and is now on track to graduate from the UN's less developed country status in 2026. The GDP at current prices Bangladesh 44 lakhs 39,273 crore and per capita income is Bangladesh 2,657 as per Bangladesh Economic Review 2023 published by Finance Division. Poverty rate came down to 18.7%. All this happened under the charismatic leadership of Sheikh Hasina and the commitment of Awami government to our motherland. So we like to believe and we should keep confidence on our leader Sheikh Hasina.
Thank you very much. Viewers, we are going for a short break. Please keep watching. Viewers, we are back to the talk show, Province Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement, and we are having talks with two brilliant citizens of Bangladesh. One is Mr. Saber Chowdhury, Chairman, Department of Peace and Conflict, Dhaka University, and other being Mr. Moniruzzaman Monir, Member, Central Subcommittee, Liberation War Affairs, Bangladesh Awami League. Well, Mr. Saber Chowdhury, we know very well there are a lot of each standing committees in Parliament, and each standing committee is looking after the ministry, respective ministry. In Bangladesh context, the power and functions of the standing committee now is more important in the context of 21st century. What is your explanation?
According to law and according to the system, I think they don't have a problem in their power or in the in functioning, but the main problem is the in operation. In most of the committees, usually the head of the committees from the ruling party, and when this is the situation, and we are not seeing a very good present of the member of the oppositions, and in this parliament it would be naturally very difficult to identify that who is going to monitor, criticize and give a proper direction to these ministries, which is the main function of this standing committee, like the public expenditure, public accounts, this kind of committees. So government, for their own sake, to some extent they need to be accountable to this committee. Otherwise, sometimes when they are spending monies or doing their regular functions, there is no sort of criticism and monitoring. So in this way, if they are challenged for their activities in the coming days, somehow it would be very difficult. So there need to be oversight on these committees. But we believe that when Honorable Prime Minister, she is coming up with so many different sort of models, maybe in this aspect she will select some people in these standing committees, mostly as the heads, who can go for self-criticism and give the government a proper direction, not only think that they are my fellow party member. It would not be wise to criticize them, because this sort of criticism in most of the ways, in most of the countries, give a proper direction in the everyday function of the government.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moniruzzaman, in a parliamentary process, each and every bill is referred to the standing committee of the respective ministry, and therefore it is believed the standing committee must be of that stage and standing with the people, and member of parliament having the required experience or required education and exposure. And we have seen in the past there are a lot of flaws in this. And the coming standing committee in the 12th parliament, what type of standing committee you desire?
I think what he said, I do agree with his statement regarding standing committee. I think those who are seasoned politicians and those who became member of parliament several times, those who belong some special quality to talk to the meeting, especially budget or another issues. So I think there should be like seasoned politician and technically sound. If we can make sure, then it will work.
Thank you very much. Mr. Saber Chowdhury, we have seen in the past the member of parliament belong to a political party or the business community. Sometime, most of the time, they are in the same standing committee, which is called the conflict of interest. And as a chairman of Peace and Conflict Department of Dhaka University, you understand better what is conflict. What is your suggestion about the coming composition of the standing committee in the 12th parliament?
It will be difficult because most of the members in one data, maybe it is 67% or something like that, those who are businessmen, and in this way it is natural they are involved in different sort of business groups or their business enterprises. But the thing is, if the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, she is very good in these things, if she can motivate them in a way that we should work for the betterment of the country, and in that case maybe there will be some sort of try to play a neutral role, which is naturally very difficult. But the thing is, this head of these committees should be technically sound, which my honorable another panel members he mentioned that it is also important. Sometimes we see that someone is playing this role who don't have this kind of experience in working these committees. And another combination, in this cabinet there are a lot of ministers, those who are not that aged. So if some seasoned politicians who are outside of the cabinet, if they are going to play this role, because you are going to criticize a minister or the activities or function a ministry, then you need to have some sort of standing or guards to oversee or the to monitor. So if the some politicians like those who are have huge experience in different sort of fields, if they will be the head of these committees, and some members from the those who are independent candidates, they have some sort of acceptability already in the public arena. If they will be also included as members, then it would be very easier. Or but the thing is, you understand that still there are some sort of gap in doing these things. But this is the combination we need to deal with, the combination at this moment. There is no other way.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moniruzzaman, out of 300 member of parliaments elected and sworn in, 199 belong to the business community. It means only 26 seasoned politicians are in the parliament. Then how can you ensure no conflict of interest in the standing committee?
That's true. I am coming here. Before that, I like to share something regarding chairman of ministries. I like to say, like Moniruzzaman, Tufail Ahmed, Rajuddin Raju, those who are seasoned politicians, countrywide they have followers, and those who are seasoned politicians getting a lot of experiment, struggle, they became pure personality. So I think if we can make them chairperson, any ministry, they can control, they can raise a voice regarding that ministry. That's why I say it, chairman should be like that. Moniruzzaman Tufail Ahmed, like the way the committee will run well. Regarding 67 businessmen, 67% businessmen in this parliament, it is not true at all, because 2007, that is called 111 government, they made a law or something like that. A politician will have to have tin certificate. Look, I am a purely political worker, but I had to submit my tin. But I am a seasoned political worker. I am working as a political worker in 1986. Till today I am doing politics. But I had to show the election commission I am maintaining tin. And
it's a very good logic. Good logic indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have to show my tin certificate, and I became the businessman. but I don't know the ABC of business. I don't have any sort of knowledge regarding business, but I have to do something for my family, for my politics. That is different issue. But you are calling me, you are treating me as a businessman, but I am not. That's why we are always hearing there is 199 parliament members are businessmen. This is not right at all. Look, in 1996, at first, we hired some businessmen. Due to in 1991, 27th February, after Ershad regime, our leader Sheikh Hasina didn't give the nomination business magnate or civil bureaucrat or army bureaucrat. But smartly, BNP has done the has offered businessman, civil bureaucrat, army bureaucrat to compete their election, and they won that election. After this, our leader Sheikh Hasina realized we should change our motto, and we hired some businessmen like Saber Ahmed Chowdhury, Dr. Iqbal, like the way the businessmen in our party came. But in a broader way, after the killing of Bangabandhu, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, after 75, in our politics, we can see businessman, army person, civil bureaucrat offering Mr. Late Jiur Rahman, and that was the way to involve our politics businessmen. But it is not expected. Politics should be made by politicians, those who have come from grassroots level. Of course, you have to share with others. Like a sports minister, I think, in my opinion, it should come from a pure sports organizer or a sportsman, or cultural minister should be like the way. But as a whole, maximum member of parliament should come from political arena, pure politician, pure political worker. Then nation will run well. It's my belief, and firmly I believe that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Saber Chowdhury, Mr. Moniruzzaman believes the politicians should be, more and more politicians should get involved in parliamentary politics also. But what about the reality is that it did not happen. It goes beyond our imagination also. But it is reality. So whether you do business or not, you are a businessman in terms of TIN certificate or your income certificate, all these things. But reality is that this parliament is dominated by the businessmen. And if the businessmen get opportunity to be on the same ministry, standing committee, nothing can be done. But you may have only 26 seasoned politicians, and you have more than 40 ministries. You need the other peoples with you. Only the chairman doesn't mean the standing committee is okay. So there is a debacle to some extent. What is your suggestion to get rid of this peculiar situation it is?
Thank you. Here the most important thing is operationalization of the definition of businessmen and the politicians. We need to do some things. We need to earn money for our livelihood. Government is not, give the politicians salary or something like that. It's another issue. But the thing is, if we find out the definition of the businessman like that in most of the cases, which is the debatable one, that a person who has no sort of involvement in the politics in their entire life, suddenly for gaining some sort of prestige, maybe he or she has thousands crore in his pocket, and he will think that I get everything in my life, so why I shouldn't be the member of the parliament. Sometimes they buy the position, they spend money, and you understand the situation. Some politicians like my honorable member, those who were giving everything in their life for the this politics, they are working for certain areas. What will be their ultimate outcome? If they can't spend huge amount of money, sometimes it would be very difficult for them to get the nomination.
True.
So especially we need to find out and determine this kind of politicians, and in no way these people should not be encouraged by any political party. And this is not the only contribution of the ruling party. Most of the parties, they are equally contributed in this situation. That's why we are now in such kind of position. In pen and paper, there are so many things. In the guidelines of the Election Commission, there are so many things. But we know, as the election observer, that what is the situation in the field, how much money a candidate should spend.
Well, how much money candidate should spend? I will come to you after a short break. Viewers, we are going for a short break and come to you very soon. Viewers, we are back to the talk show Promising Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement. And we are having talks with two giant speakers here. One is Professor Dr. Saber Chowdhury, Chairman, Department of Peace and Conflict, Dhaka University, other being Mr. Moniruzzaman, belonging to Awami League. Well, Mr. Saber Chowdhury, recently we have seen there are two reports, one by TIB, Transparency International Bangladesh, other by Good Governance for Citizenship, which is called SUJON, or Citizens for Good Governance, whatever it is. TIB said in the extreme point, who is the Secretary General Secretary of Awami League says, he is a lobbyist for Awami League. On the other hand, SUJON,
Lobbyist for BNP.
lobbyist for BNP. Another SUJON, it is more or less moderate report indeed. What is your study on the two reports?
The thing is, from our experience in the last election, there are different sort of understanding from different areas. In the urban areas, we got one picture. In the local scenarios, there are another picture. In the urban areas, we all of you know that the presence of the voters were not satisfactory at all in most of the cases. But in the local areas, that's why maybe Honorable Prime Minister encouraged the independent candidates to be involved in the election, that for some local reasons they are very active in the local scenario and motivated people to cast their votes. Again, there are also some incidents in different constituencies which were very much available in the social media. It would be some sort of put a question mark in the whole process. That's why some of the local NGOs, those who are working with election, they are thinking that if the election commission don't have this sort of capacity of conducting election, maybe the area is huge, we don't have enough manpower, maybe they can go for 2 or 3 days for give better result. Because in India we know that this election process is sometimes it take 1 month as well. So there should be some sort of ways and understanding we need to come up with to solve the situation. And already the ruling party, they are giving different sort of statements and their explanation. But the thing is, this process and this kind of processes should be withdrawn from the whole system. And the other thing, the pluralism as well should be ensured, because if this is the way, sometimes the whole political process should be questionable, and I am not sure in which way the ruling party will accommodate this kind of things. And the another thing, upholding human rights for the better interest of the nation and the country is also important, and ensuring social justice for everyone. We understand the spirit of our constitution, and when the present constitution and this parliament will going to be in operation, we hope that it will bring some sort of positivity in the functioning and in ensuring the development of the country.
Thank you very much. Ensuring the development of the country, which Professor Saber Hussain asserted and emphasized. Mr. Moniruzzaman, you know very well TIB, there are some sorts of declassification in the registration of the observer. TIB is not a registered observer. So it is an organization which speaks for the people, for the country, and of course, very close observer without being registered in the election commission. How do you explain all these things?
Listen, I don't like to disagree regarding their report. I like to, it's my personal opinion. Government should, or political party, Awami League can work regarding this issue, what they raised regarding election. In fact, my brother, my panelist, another panelist, he has said regarding broadcasting. I want to say something regarding this issue. Urban area and local area, especially urban area, Dhaka 4, Dhaka 5, it was very competitive election, because there was a strong independent candidate. When some constituency got a strong independent candidate, so they tried to bring their voters in center. That's why broadcasting was more than another seat, like Dhaka 8. So 41.8%. There is another major political party didn't participate in this election. So I think 41.8%, it's much more better. In abroad or another countries, very oftenly we show as example like Britain, USA, how much people cast their vote. So 41.8% is remarkable. After 7th January, those who came from abroad at Ganabhavan, they talked to our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. They deliberately said regarding national election, what type of election was held. So they said it was free, fair and credible election. And sometimes TIB and Sujan, I think they can deliver their position, biased position, I think. But as a whole, election was very peaceful.
Well, thank you very much for your explanation. Well, Ms. Dr. Saber Chowdhury, TIB report says constitutionally election is valid, but politically it is in question because it is not a participatory election from the point of view major opposition did not take part in the election. That is not participatory and competitive, but elections are there. What is your overall focus on it?
Yes, to some extent they are true. According to the definition in the the having an international standard of conducting an election, there should be open field for all the parties to participate, and to some extent it is sometimes the ruling party need to take the most of the roles to ensure the participation. And the thing is, it is the right of the people to choose the representative, and there should be some sort of enough options for them. There are debates in both ways. Present political parties is saying, and they are also said that for the continuation and for making the constitution uphold the spirit, we need to continue and conduct an election. So this kind of things are also very important. We don't expect this kind of violences from the local constituencies, otherwise it would give a different sort of message to the national and international community.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saber Chowdhury, because you are teaching at the Department of Peace and Conflict. So never encourage violence. That is the preconditions of your teaching. And thank you, Mr. Moniruzzaman Monir, for participating in this very talk show. Viewers, and we are about the end of this talk show. Viewers, we are about to end part of this talk show, and before ending this talk show, I have to summarize what the two speakers spoke here. Both of them spoke very eloquently and cleanly and clearly what they believe, what they understand, and how they explain the whole situation is up to them. But the message is up to you. But one thing is very important, but both of them emphasize free and fair election is precondition for a democracy. At the same time, I raised the question of standing committee. Both of them viewed the same mind, expressed the same mind, because they are of the same opinion. The standing committee is a part and parcel of the parliament, and if the standing committee work as a overviewers, as a monitors of the ministry concerned, then it is a plus point for the whole parliament, and parliament itself can play a vital role, because each and every bill usually refers to the standing committee concerned. And from that standpoint, it is also true the conflict of interest in the coming parliament shall be one of the dimensional politics, because most of them, to some extent, more or less, belongs to the business community. And at the same time, they also believe the coming parliament, the coming session of the parliament is very important, and they also believe that this parliament and this cabinet and the council of ministers shall be in a position to tackle the situation and challenges of 21st century. And let us believe the same thing. And thank you very much. We'll meet you again in the next talk show. Thank you.